Okay, good afternoon, Divy and Daphne. For this afternoon, we will be discussing, I will continue our discussion on public administration. Okay, um, first, still we will refer to the Book of De Leon, which is found in page 32, Administrative Organization. What is the definition of administrative organization? It refers to the administrative structure of the government, including its political subdivisions and the allocation of powers, function, and duties to its various units or agencies. Okay, so I hope by now you are able to picture out nga from the executive branch, there is a distribution of powers down to the administrative agencies. So, kaning gyud nga subject is really about the distribution of power from the executive department. So, and I hope as second year pol sci students, you are able to master the three branches of government. Okay, under the Constitution and as provided in the Administrative Code of 1987, the powers of the national government are distributed among three branches as follows. First is the legislative power. And the legislative power, as you all know, shall be vested in the Congress of the Philippines, which shall consist of two houses. First is the Senate, and second is the House of Representatives. Take note that there is an exception clause, except to the extent reserved to the people by the constitutional provision on initiative and referendum. So maybe you will be able to understand the exception clause on your second sem on Philippine legislative na subject. It just tells us that the legislative power is not only vested in the two houses of Congress, but also there is a certain extent that is reserved. The power is a certain extent of the power is reserved also to the people. The second branch is the executive department or the executive power, and it shall be vested in the president. Third is the judicial power. It shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such lower courts as may be established by law. Okay, the powers expressly vested in any branch of the government shall not be exercised by nor delegated to any other branch of the government except to the extent authorized by the Constitution. Okay, kung asa ni nga power na vest class, anha gina siya mo belong. Only exception is by valid delegation that is allowed by the Constitution. Okay? So, aside from the traditional three branches of power of the national government, we also have the special bodies or agencies created by the Constitution. There are three independent constitutional commissions. We call this constitutional commissions created by the Constitution. So, later on in our studies sa Polsci, we will learn that the Constitution itself created these three independent constitutional commissions. And these are namely, first is the Civil Service Commission or the CSC. The CSC is the one that is assigned to regulate, to administer the government employees class and their benefits. Okay? Ang if DOLE is the one who is assigned for private employees, ang kaning CSC is the one assigned for government employees. The second constitutional commission is the Commission on Election or the COMELEC. So we already know who that is. And third is the Commission on Audit or COA. They shall exercise the powers and functions conferred upon them by the Constitution and the law. There are also, in accordance with the Constitution, an independent office of the Ombudsman and the Independent Commission on Human Rights. So, they are independent. Okay, let's take a look briefly on the organization of the Office of the President. So, I want you to picture out nga murag organizational chart class that this is the executive department, and under that is the Office of the President. Okay, the Office of the President shall consist of the Office of the President proper and the agencies under it. So, what is the office of the President proper? Ang office of the President proper is still consisted and still also consists of the private office, the executive office, the common staff support system, and the presidential special assistance advisor system. Okay, first is the private office. It shall provide direct services to the President and shall for this purpose attend to functions and matters that are personal or which pertain to the first family. So, ang private office is really more on the private and personal life of the President and his family. Okay? Second is the executive office. The executive office is headed by the executive secretary, which refers to the office of the executive secretary, the deputy executive secretaries, and assistant executive secretaries. It shall be fully responsive to the specific needs and requirements of the President to achieve the purposes and objectives of the office. Okay, so take note that the purpose of the executive office is to be fully responsive to the specific needs and requirements of the President to achieve the purposes and objectives of the office. So if a private office class is assigned to focus more on the personal and private affairs of the President and his family, ang executive office is more focused on the specific needs sa President, specific needs and requirements for him to be able to do his government or executive function as President. The Executive Secretary shall, subject to the control and supervision of the President, carry out the functions assigned by law to the Executive Office and shall perform such other duties as may be delegated to him by the President. Okay? The third composition is the Common Staff Support System. It embraces the offices or units under general categories of development and management, general government administration, and internal administration. Okay, it is like a support system. Fourth is the Presidential Special Assistance or Advisor System. Okay, it includes such special assistants or advisors as may be needed by the President. It shall provide advisory or consultative services to the President in such fields and under such conditions as the President may determine. Okay, so naa diha ang mga special assistants and advisors ni President. Okay, still under the executive office or the office of the President is the agencies under the office of the President, which refer to those offices under the chairmanship of the President. So, naay mga agencies class nga ang chairman is the President. Those under supervision and control of the President, those under administrative supervision of the office of the President, and those attached to it for policy and proper coordination, and those that are not placed by law or order creating them under any special department. Okay, so take note of those descriptions. The President, subject to the policy in the executive office and in order to achieve simplicity, economy, and efficiency, shall have continuing authority to reorganize the administrative structure of the office of the President. Okay, so take note of this. As long as the President is still sitting in that office, let's say si President Duterte, he has the freedom to reorganize his office. So naaman to yung office who are under the office of the President, private office, executive office, special assistants, and the support system. And also is the agencies under it. So naa siya power class to reorganize the office. Okay? So, what are the things that he can do? Number one, restructure the internal organization of the office of the President proper, including the immediate offices, the presidential special assistant, and etc. By what? By abolishing, consolidating, or merging units. So, uban class nga, let's say, who was the previous administration? It was Pinoy. Si Pinoy, there were certain offices under his administration. So, pag sit-in ni President Duterte, Duterte is free to what? reorganize. So, what does that mean? Pwede abolish ni President Duterte ang kana nga office or kana nga department nga naa existing under ni Pinoy, or pwede niya i-merge into one, no? Okay, para dili daghan og departments under him. So he is free to do that, okay? Number 2, transfer any function under the office of the president to any other department or agency, as well as transfer function to the office of the president. So naay mga departments, class, or offices nga kani when under Pinoy's time, kani nga office is assigned to do this, etc., etc. So when Duterte comes in, he is also free to what? Transfer that function to another office. Okay? Pwede niya ibalhin. And third, transfer the agency under the office of the president to any other department or agency, as well as transfer agencies to the office of the president from other department agencies. Okay? So, mao na, class. That is the office of the president. The composition and the organization of the office of the president.